welcome back to Real Talk with the Snake and the Rooster. I'm Sydney, I'm the Rooster.
I'm Lori, I'm the Snake.
And we are back. Things have been super crazy around here.
The last one we did. Has it been a month?
Yeah.
Really?
At least.
Jeez, time's flying.
Yeah, hockey season is finally here. So we've had to take a lot of time to get ready for that. But it's here, we're ready. We just had our scrimmage. Tanner and his crew put ice in, which was super fun. It's cold now.
It's cold.
Very cold. What else? Oh, this Sunday we have the Corn Cup.
First game.
The Corn Cup. So we play our interstate rivals, Tri-City and Omaha. We open up with Omaha on Sunday, so get your tickets. What's this special?
For all three games, so we play this Sunday at 3:05, and then next weekend, the 23rd and the 24th, Friday and Saturday, at 7:05, and you can get all three games for $39. If you're a season ticket holder, obviously you have a ticket.
Season ticket holders, you have your ticket. If you're not, get your tickets. That is so cheap. It's only like $15. It's less than that.
Less than $15 a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come in. We'll have some good food and beverage specials. Yes.
Sunday Fun Day specials. What do we got?
Sunday Fun Day. Season ticket holder special is the Bloody Mary for $6. Since we're playing Omaha, we're going to have our Orange Crush, vodka and Orange Crush drink, which is delicious. Pulled pork sandwich, which if you've never had our pulled pork, it is literally my favorite thing that we have on the menu. It's so good. I love it. And then we also have Orange Crush in our soda machines now, so kids can get it.
Yep.
That's on special. We have blue margaritas while supplies last for only $5. Perfect Sunday Fun Day. Cappuccinos. It's going to be kind of chilly, so if you need your morning pick-me-up. Some candy is going to be super cheap. And then Select Gatorade is still on special too. We're kind of phasing some stuff out so we can get some new fun stuff in. So come get it at a super good price.
Yes. So speaking of that, we do have a lot of new things. I know some stuff will be going out on social this week, so probably by the time this episode goes out, you'll already know.
Yeah.
But we got Dr. Pepper in. So we now have Dr. Pepper, and that is like in East, West, South, Taco. I think it's everywhere but Galaxy and the bars because they don't offer it in that the type of canister or whatever you want to call it that we have to serve it in. They don't offer it in that. So it's everywhere that it can be.
Yes.
We also got iced tea in from the mill. So we now have iced tea.
So good.
And big news, Freddy's.
Woo!
We now have Freddy's in the building. So we will have Freddy's double hamburgers, double cheeseburgers for sale in the arena at East, West, South, and also, wait for it, Freddy's frozen custard.
Yes.
We'll have Freddy's custard in here with toppings. I don't have offhand the few toppings you have, so you can get just the custard or you can get some toppings. And then we also have their sandwich, like ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, I've never had that, but
so
I hear it's super
it'll
good.
go out on social media, all the new stuff we have, and of course then we'll have some meal deals if you want a Freddy's meal deal with a burger and custard. Great combination. We'll have that in.
Yes.
So super excited, new partner. So please try out one of those. And new pizza in town.
Ooh.
At least to the Stars town.
Yeah.
Anyway, Topper's Pizza is now in the building, so we'll have pizza at both of the same locations that we had pizza at last year. So, but this year it's Topper's.
Taco and Val's, yep. And I'm super excited. I love Topper's Pizza.
Yep.
So good.
They will be again. That'll go out on social media this week, so you'll get the details on that. So a lot of new things.
Yeah, we've got some really good draft beer too.
Yep,
like
some new stuff. Some new IPAs in.
The Mango Cart is my favorite wheat beer. It is so good.
Yep.
And we have it.
And what's the fish? What's the
Dogfish head?
dogfish? I keep calling it fish head. I don't know why I can't remember the name of it.
Dogfish Head IPA, which is a delicious IPA if you're into that craft beer life.
There was one more.
I don't know. Those are my two favorites.
Stay tuned. Please hold. Can't remember. It was like space dust or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that.
Me neither. So.
Ooh, we also have New Bloody Marys.
New Bloody Marys in a can, regular and spicy.
Yep.
And then we also have, wine.
Yay!
We have wine available at all the bars. Like 3 different flavors of wine. So you wine drinkers, if you want to have wine. Sunday's a good day for wine.
I know.
So try out some wine, and then we do have some new seltzer in, the High Noon seltzer. So a lot of new things.
Yeah.
A couple things have phased out. Probably wouldn't even know what's phased out because it needed to be phased out for a reason that they weren't there, but a lot of new stuff to try. So over these next few games, you can kind of change it up. Try toppers, try Freddy's.
I'm so excited.
Try a High Noon, try some wine.
Yeah.
Or all of it if you're really hungry.
Literally all of it.
In one day.
You have 3 games to try everything in 1 week. Yeah. Before the season even starts.
So there's a lot of, amongst some of the changes that we don't want to have to make, there's a lot of changes that are delicious.
Yes.
So good.
Delicious, nutritious.
I mean,
and
Freddy's custard's here. So, good stuff. So, come check it all out.
Popcorn.
How did I forget popcorn? Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes. Fresh, popped popcorn every night.
Yeah.
Like we will make it. Box. Yeah, the yellow flavor, like buttery,
super salty
goodness. Oh. So it smells good. And if you were here for the scrimmage, hopefully you can smell it. The popcorn. We will make it and put it at all the stands, but we also will have like the actual cash only, just because of that location and some technical difficulties of where it has to be. It's a cash only there, but if you need to use a card, you can get it at all the other stands. But if you want to go to the popcorn stand only and just get your popcorn, you can do it. It's only $3 for season ticket holders. Regularly $4. Season ticket holder price for popcorn is $3 all the time. That's not a special. That's not just today or this weekend. That's all season long, $3. So get that delicious popcorn. I took some home and it's still good the next day. So good.
We were eating some from Sunday, like yesterday, because it was just sitting out there and it's still so good.
Yeah. It's delicious.
Yes.
Salty goodness. So get some of that and then try out a new beer.
Yeah.
Popcorn and beer, it's a pretty good combination. So
doesn't get better than that.
Try it out.
I just feel like we have all these new things, and I just keep thinking of more and more and more.
We have so much fun stuff that we just can't put it all out there in one day.
Yeah.
So we're slowly rolling it out.
Yeah.
But if we get a chance, we can talk about other. I don't know when our next podcast is going to be, because obviously we have a first game this weekend, a lot of stuff going on, trying to get the season going and rolling. But Corn Cup home opener is November 13th. That's throwback night. So we'll definitely be sending some information about that. But that's going to be our silly string night, throwback to 90s.
Get your 90s
Wear
out.
your outfit, because I have mine ready.
So, same.
And get your silly string, get your stuff. So that'll be a super fun night. We have a door prize giveaway that night to the first, I think, 1,000 people in the door. So stay tuned for more info on that. And then hopefully we can get another podcast in before home opener and talk about some of the other promotions and stuff we have going on. But that's like a vomit of a lot of information right there.
There's literally so much stuff we could talk about. There's new in-game experiences, new intermission experiences.
We have some dance cams this year,
Yeah.
so get your dancing shoes on so we can do those. It'll be super fun. I tested it out.
Yeah.
Tested out Baby Shark.
You might have seen that on social.
Did Keith put that on social? I don't know.
Or maybe it was on, maybe you just Snapchatted it to me. I don't remember.
It was out there.
But
I don't want to show everybody my moves.
It's somewhere.
Right, somewhere. But, so, should be a good time. A lot of new stuff. But today we have the owner of the Lincoln Stars, Ryan Schiff,
One and only.
on as our guest via Zoom. So we'll take a break here in a second and get logged on to Zoom, and then Ron will cut him in.
Hopefully he's not too
How it
nervous.
And we'll see. We're even gonna give Ryan his zodiac sign and see what
we don't
how
cut
he
out.
pans out with the rest of us here.
We don't cut out the weirdness just because he's the owner.
Yeah,
we make
he
it
gets it too,
extra weird.
and he's
because
got to
he's the
play.
owner.
He's got to play a game too.
Yeah.
So he's all in. So, all right, we will cut and be right back. Everybody, we are here with the owner of the Lincoln Stars, Ryan Schiff, via Zoom today.
Yep.
We are going to start off with our normal
weirdness.
So Rooster will give your Chinese zodiac. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good one. I think yours fits better than most people's have on the show. So you're a fire horse.
Okay.
Everyone gets an element, and yours is fire. Is yours fire?
Yep.
Yours is fire. Yeah. Fire horse and fire snake.
Okay.
The website told me that you're born with natural intelligence, and you're very lively and outgoing, and that you always put 100% of your energy into something you're passionate about. I think that's pretty on brand.
Yeah, I would say that's really on brand. I'm all in or all out.
It also said that you can be kind of stubborn, and sometimes unwilling to listen to others, but you always do your best to solve the difficult problems. What do you think
Yeah, I
about
think that's pretty accurate. I guess
You don't really have a choice. You have to solve a lot of the difficult problems.
a lot of those problems tend to fall at my feet, so it's kind of comes with the territory with the stars. But I don't know that I'm that stubborn, but I definitely am opinionated.
Well, maybe it was just the translation. Some of these translations are not great, and I have to do some work. But
Is it done by birthday or?
It's done by birth year.
Okay.
And then you can get different fortunes based on what month and what day you're born.
Got it.
But this website doesn't have very many of those.
You can get like way into it, but we just do this for fun. And
all right.
Because that's how we got to Snake and the Rooster, so we have to get everybody on.
So it also gives me a work fortune, and it says that horses are very well suited to run a business. So that's good for you. Other good fields include gallery work, travel agency, and a charity institute, which I thought was hilarious because we kind of do all three of those here. We have player art that we auction sometimes. Player travel, and then
Let's not consider the players stuff art. I've seen it.
Some fans really like it.
Some
We
of
had
it
some good stuff
Looks
last
like
year.
it came from kindergarten.
I think that's why they like it so much. It's
Yeah.
authentic. It's not that it's Picasso. It's authentic.
Some are really good and some are really bad.
Really bad.
Yeah. There's no in between.
No. So then I have your list of your best working partners, which we've got a bunch of them in the office, which is cool. So your best working partner is the Snake, so it's Lori and Coach Sadeo, which is awesome. The other one is me, the Rooster, and then the dog, which is Coach Mike's.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so all good things.
That's really cool.
But we also have some
We
of
should
your
have done this 7 years ago, and then we could have had the
See?
staff all set up.
It's a new way to hire people.
Yeah. We also have some of your worst working partners in the office. So you don't work very well with other horses. pigs or rats, and we have all of those in the office.
Okay, we'll just keep them away.
That's
Right.
fine.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them is Ron, but he's fine. He can get along with anyone.
Yeah.
I work well with him, so maybe
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
mitigating.
maybe there's a little. And then I looked up your 2020 fortune, so I think it's kind of funny that this year hasn't been the greatest, and then I want to see what the zodiac
Is
says.
anybody's fortune any good in 2020?
Travis's was really good. Travis's was like, you're gonna make some big money and be famous. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, it's not working out.
Yeah, no, I guess.
Well, a couple months left. We'll see.
Yeah.
So your fortune says that you'll receive some help from influential people, and elders will offer some beneficial suggestions which are good for your life and career. It also said to remember to keep up with your physical exercises and to find ways to release pressure and find ways to relax. So I don't know if it's just because they knew the Rona was coming and they want you to be prepared to de-stress, but that's what they told me.
Okay. Well, that's good advice.
Yeah.
You know, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Some of it is kind of funny how some of it actually does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of it is also generic-ish.
Yeah. A lot of it's generic-ish enough.
Yeah.
But I still think it's hilarious when it's really on brand.
Yeah. All right, so that's just our fun for the opener there. So we will get into. We have quite a few questions for you, so we'll see what we get through.
Okay.
But we'll just start in. We do have a couple fan questions. We have some questions from the office and some of the stuff that we came up with. So we'll start rolling through. We'll just do the starting question to just give us a little bit of your background and your history with the Stars.
Okay, so I bought the Stars in November of 2013. So coming up on 7 years of being the owner. It's in many ways it's gone very quickly, and in other ways I can't believe how long it seems ago. I kind of feel like I've owned the Stars my whole life almost, and then there are other days where I think like I can't believe it's already 7 years. So background on the Stars. I quit playing hockey in early 1990s and started working, and kind of always had in the back of my mind when I was done playing that I really wanted to get into ownership. I never really wanted to be a coach or a GM or a scout or anything like that. I really always somehow wanted to own some form of a team, and I was blessed enough to have an opportunity to get into commodity trading very early after my hockey career, and had some good mentors and some good people, and took advantage of some opportunities that allowed me to be somewhat successful in this business. And the business itself is a high risk, high reward type thing, and that kind of fit my my philosophy on work. It also fit the fact that I was just quitting playing hockey and really didn't care that much about work. So getting into something like this early on allowed me to take a lot more risk than most people ordinarily would in a job, because my always thought was that I would just go back to playing hockey if this didn't work out. And being a minor league hockey player, I wasn't making any money anyway, so it really didn't matter. So I took some risks and made some money. And as the years went on, I always thought I'm going to buy a hockey team someday. And I really started looking like in 2000 and probably about 2007, I think I started, when I really felt like, okay, I'm far enough along in my career now where I could afford to invest some money into a team, and I want to find the right fit. And really, it's kind of shocking. It took 6 years to find the Stars. I had looked at them 2 years prior to purchasing, but it just wasn't the right timing, and the opportunity was wrong. And then when it came back around in 2013, towards the end of the year, I had kind of given up on looking. I looked at teams from Red Deer, Alberta, all the way to Chicoutimi in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, all the way down south There was a time where I considered putting in an SPHL expansion team in Savannah, Georgia. Really all over the map. Looked at every single league. I looked at so many business plans and had kind of quit. Just decided this just wasn't going to happen for me. I couldn't find anything that I felt fed my business interest as well as hockey interest, and was at a price that I could afford that would potentially make money. There were so many factors I had in the equation. And then somehow or another, I came back around to Lincoln, came to a game, and like 3 weeks later, I owned the team. So it was
Was that
kind
the
of,
first time you were at a Stars game then? Or you've
yeah.
been to one before? That was. Okay.
That was the first one. The first time I looked at the team, I never came out to see a game. At that point, I really wasn't a huge fan. I looked at them in like 2010, 11, give or take. And I wasn't a huge fan of the USHL at the time, to be honest. When I played junior hockey when I was younger, the USHL was really in its infancy. I think Sioux City was a team, and there were a couple other teams. Omaha may have been a team. I forget who else was in the league at the time, but it was really in its infancy, and it wasn't a league that, as a young player, you would ever hope to play in at that point in time. So I had a little bit of that in the back of my mind when I was buying teams, or looking at buying teams, like what leagues are good. But by the time 2013 rolled around, I had done enough research on the USHL and saw the trend in player development and the way things were going there, where I really felt like, you know what, this league is actually really up and coming, and actually the best junior league for US players to play in. So that kind of being an American, that kind of got me a little bit more excited about the league. And then obviously I came out to Lincoln, and it took one game, and then 3 weeks later I owned the team. So that's kind of the history of that.
So when you were at the game, what was your favorite fan experience when you came to your first Stars game?
For sure, the intro. It was just left a lasting impression, and it's the one thing I think that we have endeavored in my 7 years to not change at all. If anything, we've enhanced it a little bit with the video board and a couple other things, but we've pretty much left the intro the same for 25 years. And I think it's the best intro in junior hockey. It might be the best intro in hockey. Like, I go to a lot of Blackhawks games, and theirs is pretty special, but my sense is if we had a unlimited budget, ours could be just as good, if not better. I think if you put everything to scale, I can't believe there's a better intro anywhere in hockey, period. I just think it's great. And so that between that, I felt one thing I did was look around when I was sitting there, and I saw so many people wearing Stars gears, and so many people passionate about the team, and people that actually understood what was going on, people that just loved the players. And I just sat there and thought, like, this is something to be a part of. Like, this is really has all the things that are necessary. And then obviously I did a little bit of work on the business side and the lease and how we fit in the community. And, obviously in 7 years, a lot of those projections have changed. Frankly, a lot of what I thought would happen didn't happen. Some things I didn't think would happen did happen. And, that's life. That's why you're supposed to de-stress, right? According to my horse.
You have to relax.
Yes.
Yep. What else did you know about the Stars before you pursued ownership? Did you know anything, or were you just in general looking for a team in the USHL?
I really didn't know anything. I knew they were in the USHL. I knew they led the league in attendance. I knew that they were priced appropriately for leading the league in attendance. I knew that it was a mature business with a very strong fan base, strong sponsorship, and frankly, a staff that had been here a long time, I think 18 years. So I knew what I was getting was a very mature business. And in a lot of ways, that was very appealing to me because I was still working full time in Chicago. And I knew that at the point in time, I wasn't planning to move to Lincoln right away. My thought was that if I really liked it, I would probably move there well, it would have been about this year is when I was sort of thinking I would move there when my youngest went to college. So, it's still on the table, but COVID has kind of changed a lot of the plans of of everybody, including myself. I mean, I haven't been to Lincoln since March, which is really disappointing because I'm usually there, 1 or 2 times a month. So it's been difficult, obviously.
Yeah, so a lot of change.
Hmm.
So maybe this could be a difficult question, but what is the worst thing that has happened to you as an owner?
It's really not a difficult question. I think for me, the worst thing is trying when you own a business like this that's somewhat in the public eye, in a city where you don't live. I think the hardest thing and something I really couldn't factor when I bought the team is conveying my love for the business, for the team, for the community, and what I'm trying to accomplish through our staff in the community. And what I mean by that is I can be as direct as I want with the staff. I can lay out kind of my vision for what I think is going to happen. But at the end of the day, it takes the people in the office to execute that vision. And I think the toughest thing that I've had to deal with is that a lot of times over the last 7 years, we've overpromised and underdelivered. Um, and that's really painful for me because anybody who knows me in my life would say that's the one thing that never happens when you deal with me, whether it be in contract negotiations or work stuff or whatever job I've ever worked at. Teammates who worked for me who, I was in charge of their bonuses or whatever. It was never a situation where I overpromised and underdelivered. And I think until the last really 2 years or so, that's kind of been the hallmark of my ownership in Lincoln. And I think the hardest thing has been the disconnect from where I am in Chicago to what's going on in Lincoln and how that has progressed a lot of times off course from what I was hoping it would be. And the disappointment has been that it's really hard to manage everything from a distance, and it's also hard to just let go and let other people do your bidding for you because sometimes they don't always follow through, and sometimes you think you're managing things well and you're really not. So I've learned an awful lot about being an out-of-town owner of a business. And that's been by far the biggest challenge I think I've had. I feel like we turned the corner, frankly, Lori, when you joined. I knew it when the first week you were there, and then things just have been getting progressively better. And the fans may or may not see that every day, but I see it every day because I know how much easier it is for the business to be managed because things are actually done. I'm not getting those calls any longer from vendors that were 9 months late on paying something that nobody even knew we ordered, and just frustrating things like that. And then, frankly, we promised a lot of things to the fans that we didn't deliver. And, some of those things are really painful for me because my whole goal was to make this whole thing way even better than it was when I bought it. And in a lot of ways, I'm not sure I accomplished that. I think we're getting there again now.
Yeah.
But I think we went on a very rocky ride for 5 years. And I have to take all the blame myself because it was my business to run. And I think that was definitely by far the hardest thing I've had to deal with. And it's a lot easier now, but we're still getting through things, just like silly things like, well, it's not silly, but the mobile app. I spent I can't even tell you how much money I spent. It's embarrassing trying to build that a mobile app. The first 3 or 4 years I was there, I was a mile ahead of anybody else in sports with our mobile app. And I laid it out. I spec'd it. I hired people. I hired developers. I had the whole thing going. And then we got it up live and it crashed multiple times. People lost their points. People lost this. And all I did was create frustration for trying to make something way better for the experience. And my vision was that we would connect all of our partners with our fans, that they would have constant opportunities to win free stuff at our different partners, which would be a benefit for the partners, a benefit for the fans. It'd be a way to electronically disseminate information. You have to think about this is over 5, maybe 6 years ago when I started this. Facebook wasn't what it is now. There was no Instagram. There was no Snapchat. So this was really, we were way ahead of the game in dissemination of information to our fans, what they want, what we want to give them, and how do we connect as a community. after all that money and time, all we wound up with was frustration. We still don't have a mobile app. We now have to buy one, which, is exceedingly expensive, much more so than it was when I was developing it and spent all the money already. So to now hand somebody that much money after trying to develop it has been a frustration, but we are going to figure that out in a short period of time here. I think COVID has obviously disrupted things a little bit, but there are a few options that fit what I'm looking for. We just have to figure out how they fit into our budget and get that going. But those are, to me, that and I would say on the hockey side, just we've only made the playoffs. Well, we would have made them last year, so it would have been 3 of my 6 years, but 2 of 5 years with an inconclusive sixth is a disappointment. I thought we'd be better on the hockey side. Like, I knew when I came on in November of 13 that we didn't have a very good team, so we kind of knew that it was going to be a little slow going. Then we had a really good turnaround really quick, but then we got bad again and had a bad team again. And so, for me, I would, lying if I say I don't want to win a championship every year, because I for sure do. But what I really want to build is a culture of stability, both in the office and in the locker room, so that people come and they know exactly what they're getting. They're bought in, and they're better for when they leave than they were when they got here. And I think, again, we're getting there now. So,
I think we were on a really good path before our season got cut short.
Yeah, I think so too. And I actually think that team had a chance. Like, I know we couldn't seem to string together a bunch of wins, but boy, when we were good, we were really good. And all we really needed was for Moose to kind of stand up a little bit in the net. And I think we would have been, he was ready. He'd been in the league a couple of years. And I think we were right there. But, anyway, I feel good about where we are now as an organization. I feel like a lot of those challenges, as frustrating as they were, have been really good for me. They've been growing experiences and opportunities to learn from my mistakes, frankly. I think I'm certainly grateful for all the fans that have stuck with us through all that time, because I think that, a lot of them get frustrated and rightly so. A lot of the things, I look back on, like, all you can eat hockey was a wonderful concept that has been copied many times now, but we didn't execute the right way. And I know, Laura, you came in the middle of that season when the ship was sinking, and it was a hard plug to pull, but we had to, because we had to get back on solid ground. But again, that's kind of to me, that's a capsulization of the question that you asked me of what is the hardest thing. Like, to me, that's a perfect example of overpromising and under-delivering. When you promise people you're going to bring great food that's coming for free, but then you have no plan. Well, we had a plan, we just didn't execute the plan. It was just frustrating. It was frustrating to see people frustrated with us when I thought, here, we're doing such a good thing for people and they're going to enjoy this so much. And ultimately it just kind of backfires. So, but again, like, it's all learning opportunities and
there's always some growing pains. You gotta try new things once in a while.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't
work,
think you know what, I always, I kind of look at it like from a scripture perspective. One of my favorite, or one of my go-to verses in the Bible is James 1:2. Consider it all joy when you face challenges of any kind. And it's a hard thing to do. It really is, to consider it joy when you're facing a huge challenge like that. I can remember being in that arena on November 2nd, 2018 against Omaha, packed house, and we're out of food in the middle of the first period during all you can eat. And I was sitting in that couch right there in the middle of the game, just like this, not even watching. We're playing Omaha. Like, it's the best time to be there as an owner. Like, there's not a single seat available. And I was sitting on that blue couch that you guys are sitting on with my hand over my eyes. I remember sitting there going, what am I doing? Like, how could I possibly be in this position? Like, we're out of food. We're not even in the middle of the first period. People are screaming. Their lines are a mile long. And I thought, what have I done? Like, how did I get here? But you know what? It's a growth experience, because, to be honest with you, all that's happened during COVID, I don't know if you felt it, but I feel like I've been pretty calm given what's gone on. And, I look at it like, it couldn't have got much worse than it got in October and November of 2018. Like, to me, that was a shovel hitting the stone moment for me. Like, this is difficult. There's no doubt. Dealing with COVID has been a challenge for our whole country, but I feel like I've had a better sense of calm, maybe because I've been through such things as that before. So maybe there's
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know what the blessing is until you get past it and are able to look back. But the other thing I do know is that if life was just a bunch of roses all the time, you wouldn't really appreciate things as much. You kind of have to go through some hard times. And I try to preach this to coach as well. This is his first year being a head coach in the USHL, but he's been a head coach at other levels. And, what I want to continue to tell him is, like, he'll call me and say, hey, we got a really bad practice today. And I'm like, you know what? It's good though. Like, you have to have ups and downs. Otherwise, if everything's always up, how do you ever appreciate the good times? You have to be able to have perspective. So I feel like this has been a lot of perspective building for me as an owner, but there've also been some good times too. So.
What about like the best thing that's happened to you as an owner?
Well, the best thing is the relationships, for sure. Undoubtedly, the people that I've met in Lincoln, those who I've grown close to, those who I even know peripherally, I think that's been the best thing. Certainly an unexpected pleasure. The town of Lincoln, I think, has been very fair and kind to me. It's been good to be out there. I've bumped into people numerous times, and just felt the love of the town for the team. Certainly the relationships, whether it be, the people that are currently working for us now, some past people who worked for us, who don't work for us anymore, who I remain friends with, dealing with the media people, like, has been interesting. But, I think that the actual the best thing about it is by far the relationships. There's just no doubt about that. Like, that to me, is what I really appreciate. But I think my favorite moment was when we won the playoff series against Sioux Falls, when Paul Cotter scored in overtime in Sioux Falls. We went 3 for 3. We won all 3 of those games. 2 of those games. We lost the first game and won the next 2, all on the road in Sioux Falls 2 years ago. And I say this because, unfortunately, I had to fly to Singapore for a meeting, and I was on the plane when Cotter scored, but I was getting on the plane while we were playing, and I was sitting in the lounge watching on my phone, and we were down 2-0, I think it was, heading into the third, and I was just damn, I can't believe we're going to lose this series. And I got on the plane, and I was on the plane for like 21 hours or whatever it is, home from Singapore. And the second I landed and turned my phone on, my phone was just like lighting up. Like, there were so many text messages and all. And it was such a cool moment to see how many people cared that I knew that we won that game. Like, and then obviously I knew by the text messages that we had won, but then I got a chance when we landed to go watch the end. And it just was such a fun moment to really experience winning a playoff series. That was our first playoff series win. And boy, that was a really cool moment. That was something I really will cherish forever.
Well, let's hope we have one of those this year.
Exactly.
So that'd be good. Well, so talking about some of the difficulties and stuff we've had, how do you approach obstacles and adversity?
1 second. I'm just responding to someone from my office. 1 second. Sorry. Real job. My real job demands my attention at times. I approach adversity. Well, I try to approach adversity, like I was talking about before, with a commitment to understanding that not everything that looks really bad is always really bad. And there's always learning in everything, even if the situation is exceedingly bad. Like, look at all you can eat hockey, for example. From a business perspective, it was a horrible decision. Okay. We failed on every level. We failed our customers. Our plan wasn't executed properly. We lost a fortune in money, and we bothered people and got frustrated fans. However, what's the upside of that? okay, we're a year and a half, almost 2 years. We're actually 2 years out from that. And I can look back now and say that prior to All You Can Eat, I really didn't have a handle on our food and bev as far as what are we spending each game? What do people really want? What does it cost us to put it in the building? What do we have to do to make this a better product? How do we manage the inventory better? All of those things, but it had to break in order to get fixed. And I believe now we're in a place where we're bringing on different vendors now into the arena. There are things that we're doing that are making it much more interesting and fun to come to games. And more than anything, from a business perspective, we have a handle now on exactly what our food cost is. We know every dollar that comes in and goes out. And I think, to me, that's a capsulization and a learning experience through a very hard time, how to get better. And I think I like to think that's my challenge, and my learning. And I think that's how I try to face adversity, is to just know that these are tough times. There'll be good times at some point, but what can I learn from this? And now, for me, that was crystal clear what I learned from that. So I feel like if I can adapt that to every time there's a challenge, and I think that's a good thing. I think another thing that's been challenging is learning social media, not from the perspective of like how to log on, but the voices of social media, whether it be, in our election right now, or, the Lincoln Stars, or whatever business you own, learning that every person who says something negative about you doesn't necessarily, you don't have to own everything that everyone says. You can learn from what they say, but you don't have to own the intent or the anger with which things are said. And I think, again, like, to me, that's been a real learning experience. That's a challenge. Early on, I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off. I felt like a dog chasing his tail all day long. I would say the first or second year I was the owner, it got to the point where every comment on Facebook, I was on the phone, fix this, fix that, to the point where if someone said, it's a silly example, but change a nacho cheese, I would be on the phone, change a nacho cheese. And then next game, someone else would be like, why'd you change a nacho cheese? And I'd be back on the phone, why'd you change a nacho cheese? Change it back. And you just can't live like that. Like, you have to assimilate all the information and then figure out what is important. And I've been working with you on this, right? Because you're the same way. You want to please everybody.
It's hard to not take it very personally, because you know what I mean? I'm all in here. So like, my heart is here.
Trust me, I know.
It is frustrating. So Ryan does have to talk me off the ledge. Like, just because somebody said something mean, it doesn't mean, like, because
and a lot of times the thing is, people don't, what I've learned is, call people, because oftentimes they quick to type but don't always mean what they said, like in a negative way. It's just a frustration. For example, someone has a bad meal, or someone has a burger that's overcooked or whatever. There's so many ways to handle it, but in today's culture, it's very acceptable to just rip the restaurant. I went in, I gave them a 1-star review because they had I see it all the time. I was looking for a place to eat last night on TripAdvisor, and someone just shredded the place I was going to. And I was thinking, I really like this place. Like, I can't believe they had this bad a time, but it may have happened. But what I'm learning as I get older and more mature and have owned this business longer and longer is that people have a right to their opinion, and social media has opened up almost Pandora's box as it relates to that. Because if you think about life pre-social media, someone might have called and complained. They might not have. They might have told 10 friends. They might not have. But now,
they didn't tell the world.
It's a social media is just opened everything up, and it's a very hard thing to stay even keel. And that's one of the good things I think we do, is bounce stuff off each other, so that, and I'm also able, I feel like, to relay a lot of my experiences with you with this, because you're the same way as me. You take it personally. When someone says they didn't have a good time at a game, I want to go to that person's house, sit down on their couch, and talk to them about why you didn't have fun. What can I do to change that experience? And while we still do that a lot, we try to make everybody feel like their objections or whatnot are heard. What I've learned to do is try to take the emotion out of it. even if it takes, 24 hours not to respond, that's another really good rule of thumb. It's like the youth sports rule. You're not allowed to call a
Yep.
coach for 24 hours. It's very good in business too. Even if
Yep.
you're frustrated, it's very smart to, I've learned sometimes just take a breath, take 24 hours and just respond in kind. And I think that's been part of our growth as a staff. I think we all have learned this very well. And, people have a right to be frustrated. They have a right to be happy, whatever they want to be, but we need to just continue to move forward the best way that we can, knowing that we're doing everything in our power to make their experience great. And if it isn't great, then we're going to try to, fix whatever was broken.
Just touching on change, like we've kind of talked about some of this, I guess, just with COVID and the change that we have to do, just like all these new protocols and all these new things. Like, how are you feeling about all the things that we're doing?
I feel like,
changes we've made?
well, first of all, one of the things I'm most happy with, we have Corey and nobody else does. So we're light years ahead of every other team. We have been since Jump Street pretty much. As most people know, Corey wrote the protocol for concussion testing in Nebraska. I mean, he's just so far ahead of everything else. He's got the players where he needs them. I feel very confident that if we do get an outbreak, that he'll be able to manage it. I think Corey's put great protocols in place. The league has done an excellent job of managing. Again, like, there's no roadmap here. We're figuring this out as we go along. One day we're starting on time. One day we're starting a month late. One day we're playing preseason. One day we're not. One day we're going to have less teams in the playoffs. Then all of a sudden a hurricane comes or a tornado comes through and destroys 2 buildings. Then we're starting all over again. Like, there's been nonstop opportunities to embrace change. And I feel like the league has done it. And frankly, we're playing now. Like, we're going to deal with whatever comes up. Look at the NFL. They're playing. They've had to postpone games. They're changing cities. They're changing times. We got Tuesday Night Football. Like, it's a gong show. I mean, and that's probably what this season's going to be like. My guess is there'll be more than one game postponed or changed.
Yep.
There'll be players who get it. There'll be fans who get it. What we're learning now, and that something that leaves me feeling more and more confident, is that we know a lot more 7 months in than we knew back in March. People were dying left, right, and center in March because we didn't know anything about this. And if our country does anything well, we adapt. And again, we're adapting at the medical level at record rates. And I feel like the death rate's going down, even if the case rates are going up. Case rates going up, everyone can live with. Death rate going up, nobody can live with, literally and figuratively. So, for me, what I feel good about is we have good protocols in place. We're seeing people get it and recover, thankfully. 2 of my 3 kids have had it. I haven't had it, thank God, and my kids are fine. My youngest has a heart defect, and it was very, very scary to have him get it. But when he had it, ultimately, it was, he had some symptoms, and thankfully, it had nothing to do with his heart, and that was a good thing. My older boy, I just found out yesterday, had it a month ago. He decided it wasn't important to tell me because he just
Maybe mention it late at Christmas or something.
That's pretty much what he was planning to do when he got home for Christmas. We beat it out of him, though. But I think that as long as we're prepared and we don't have this Pollyanna view that we're going to go through the season unscathed and nothing's going to happen, and we have a plan, which we do, I think we'll be okay. We have more players in town this year than we ever have before. We are prepared that if we get an outbreak, what are we going to do? We have all the protocols and we're ready for we're not going into this season saying, I really hope nobody gets this. We're pretty much planning people are going to get it. And if anything, it's shown that cases spike, they go off, they spike, they go off. Like, it's going to continue like this until there is a definitive solution, whether that's a vaccine, whether it's antibodies, whatever that. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't really know. All I know is I'm glad that the death rate is going down dramatically, and we as a country know how to deal with this much better. And this is what we hoped it would be back in March. I remember vividly everybody thinking, I had all my conservative friends were saying, this is ridiculous. It's just a flu bug, whatever, let it go around. Why are we doing all this? And then all my non-conservative friends were saying, are you crazy? You need to be inside, shut everything down. And it became this politicized thing. But, at the end of the day, we know more now than we did. And I believe we can make educated decisions as people to say, I'm going to go somewhere and I feel more comfortable when I wear a mask, so I'm going to. And now it's become almost another adaptation that I find interesting is I can remember in March and April, people wearing masks and other people looking at them like, what's wrong with this guy? Now it's the other way. If you're indoors and you're in the grocery store and you're not wearing a mask, people are like pointing at you, hey, that guy's not wearing a mask. Like, what's going on? So I guess, it's a kind of a long-winded answer, but I feel like we're very, very prepared. We have protocols in place, and it's like going to war. The best thing you can do is just prepare for every possible outcome, and I feel like we've done that. The coaching staff is prepared. We're taking every precaution necessary, but we're not going completely insane. I saw the other day the CHL is considering no checking. Sorry, I know this is a public forum, and probably someone from the CHL will see this if they want to, but I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So you sit next to each other in the locker room on the bench, but you can't check. Like, that doesn't, I get that when there's impact, there might be spitules that fly, but I think we can all go too far, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that would be my opinion, that's probably a little too far. I don't think we'll get there as a league.
Yeah.
Who knows?
They're just like all things with this. Some things make sense, some things don't make sense, but we're doing stuff anyway. I mean, on the player side, like Corey's got it 1,000% under control.
Yes.
He is amazing and all that. And people don't understand what he's had to go through.
Oh, I know.
Still,
just the
it's
fact
a
that we
daily,
have our
weekly call. It's a just with the league and calls. He's had a lot to deal with. So
no doubt.
To keep it all going. So kudos to Corey, and
no doubt.
And even on our side, to have fans working with the health department and all the stuff we had to do.
I mean, you need to take a lot of that credit yourself, because that report you submitted was no joke. Like, to constantly be on top of that and be prepared and have everything in place. And, it doesn't come without effort, and it doesn't come without expense. Again, back to trying to run a business during COVID. Like, I don't think a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking about the additional cost of just running a business. Just like yesterday, I asked you, what is this $541 in hand sanitizer? Yep. Exactly. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's right now, it's really hard. Think about it in a context of ticket sales. So we sell a ticket for $16. Do the math on how many tickets we need to sell to pay for that one thing of hand sanitizer that wasn't in the budget, by the way, 6 months ago. We need to sell over 20
It's one of those things in the plan. I have to. I mean, the reason why those little stickers and you have to move seats is because that's the plan I had to get approved
in order to play.
In order to even play, or we're not having a game. So it's those changes, not by our choice,
not by us.
But
needless
we're
to say, we wouldn't be doing it.
Sanitizing. We're spraying in between periods. We got the new hand sanitizer stations with their fun little stickers. Sydney put up some new stickers that says "BY Sanitize," so you'll be able to see those all over your little hand, and they're in every entry, like
every
what I want to share.
No, we're as ready. To me, we're as ready as we can be.
Yes.
And does that mean someone's not going to get COVID for coming to our game? Who knows? Like, who really knows where they got it, when they got it? I don't think anybody really knows. And the problem, obviously, is asymptomatic people walk around all day long. And I guess that's the reason for masks. And, I'm fine to wear a mask. Like, when I'm not in my house, if I go to a store, we're going to have more masks. They'll be in another 2 weeks. We'll have them hopefully ready for at least one of the Omaha games. I believe the second Omaha game, we'll have them in place in time. But, I think everyone just needs to be smart. We're all smart people. Like, to me, if we want to keep going to sporting events and restaurants and grocery stores, and we don't want the country locked down, then be smart. Do what they're asking you to do. The health officials are, even though it's changing every day, one day, for how we flip-flopped how many times now on masks,
too many.
Just pay attention though. Like, it's all out there, and we will be at the forefront. That much I can promise. I know Lori, Sid, all of you guys are listening, are paying attention to what the health department and the CDC are telling us to do. And as a result, we're going to be at the forefront of that. So when you come to our games, you can feel very confident that we've done everything in our power to make sure it's ready to go, and that we've made it as safe as physically possible. Obviously nobody can guarantee any kind of safety, but we feel very confident, I do at least, with what we've done. And it's not come, like I said, it's, make no mistake, it has come at great cost to our organization, and it has come at great effort. The amount of work that has been done by our staff is extraordinary. From you to Corey to Sid to everybody who works in our staff has put in the hours and has really done a very, very good job to get ready for this season. We're excited to bring Stars hockey back to Lincoln. So
it's all things change, from all the way down to ketchup in a packet, like all the way down to the ketchup. Things had to change in order to do it. So those, again, some of those frustrating changes, but I think we've got everything we can do. Everyone will be asked to wear a mask the whole time, unless of course you're eating or drinking. And we do have that here. So we just kind of ask people, if you're not eating or drinking, to put your mask back on and just do, the best that you can do while you're here, so we can keep playing every single week. So
absolutely. That's all we can ask.
Well, now we talked about all the serious stuff. We'll touch on the team just a little bit, just like hockey,
sure.
Since
my favorite part.
Camp. So we're past camp, and we had one scrimmage already. So I know we haven't had a game, but you talk to the coach a lot. Like, how are you feeling just about the team in general as a sport?
Well, I feel really good. I can only go off what coach tells me, because I've watched a lot of the video, but I haven't been there in person. And this was the first year I wasn't at camp, so that was really disappointing. But I love that, again, another adaptation for us was putting it live on Facebook. That allowed me to watch it, and a lot of other people that didn't feel comfortable coming to the arena at the time. We still were in a little bit of that period where people weren't sure. So I think that gave everybody that opportunity, and I was excited about it. I talk to coach almost every day. He loves to communicate, which is exciting for me as an owner. We've had different coaches over the years. Some like to call every day, some like to don't call at all. And, it's always been one of those things where I love it. So I want to know what's going on, but I also don't want to be that guy who's calling every day to ask how practice was. So I kind of leave it up to the coach. Coach Mike's is for those of you who've been on the Zoom calls with him, he is really communicative, and he loves to talk hockey. So I have a willing listener, and I love to talk hockey too. So we've had a lot of conversations, and he's really, really excited about our team, not just the guys that are returning, but something that we're really proud of. I think our top 5 draft picks in phase 2 are all here in Lincoln, which I'm pretty sure we've never been able to say that. Ordinarily, either one of them doesn't pan out through camp, or one of them doesn't come, or we face what we call a lot of flight risk in this league. So by flight risk, I mean players can play, they can go into college, they can go to another junior league in the US, they can go to Canada and play major junior, they can go back to high school if they're from Minnesota or somewhere like that. There's so many different challenges to recruiting. You'd think it would be easy, given that we're the best junior league in the world, but it isn't. These players are elite, and they have a lot of voices in their ear. So for us, a lot of it is we're trying to build a culture where the returners are so excited to get back that anyone who talks to them can't wait to get here with them. We've done it through video, we've done it through Zoom calls, and we've done a really good job. So like I said, those guys, we also had 3 ads that we're allowed to make to our roster. All of those are here, which is great. Some of them are Euros, which is exciting to have those. How we were able to pull that off during a pandemic is just amazing to have them here as well. We followed all the protocols. They all sat there 2 weeks. You know that better than anyone. But so I'm excited about our team. I think Coach is a high energy guy. He's a compete first guy. I think that our fans are going to love the way this team competes. I will enjoy that as well. I think we feel very good about our goaltending. I think this is going to be a unique year in the USHL, quite possibly the best talent year ever. Something a lot of people probably don't know is that with Cedar Rapids and Madison going dark for the year due to the damage in their building in Madison's situation with the government, those players were dispersed throughout the league. So we picked up a few players in our dispersal draft. But if you think about that contextually, a 16-team league goes to 14 teams. So what does that mean? That means those players, the best of them get dispersed around the team, which means that the lowest players on other teams now get cut.
Mm-hmm.
Add to that, there are at least 25 to 50 college programs that are in flux, meaning they're not, may or may not play in the fall. A lot of those players are coming back to our league if they're age eligible. So what does that mean? Players that played in our league last year, cut. Now you want to talk about the
It's tough competition.
is going to be extraordinary this year. So, you know, if we can pull off, you know, a championship year this year or a deep playoff run, I think this would be the most proud moment as an owner and of our hockey staff, because it's going to be the most challenging year. There's going to be players in this league this year that have played 2 years of college hockey. There's going to be players that are, you know, are elite players in the in the Canadian Hockey League that are coming here because they can't get across the border. There's going to be all sorts of unique situations playing out, but coach feels really great about our team. I was able to watch our scrimmage the other day, and I thought we looked pretty good. I liked our compete level. I like the feistiness with which we play. I think that'll serve the Icebox fans well. Yeah, I like where we're at. I think we don't have a lot of weaknesses, so you know, I think we look pretty good. We have 5 solid lines right now, and I think we have 10D competing for spots. So, and if it's that hard for the coach to make a decision, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm excited for Sunday to see a game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to see them.
I think the boys are ready to play against a different color jersey too. So.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They're ready to stop playing each other all day long. Yep. So it'll be good. All right. Well, we have some staff questions. One fan question was about the app, and you actually already covered that. So
I would just say the app is still pending. I have not forgotten it. As I've told many people, it's been the bane of my existence for 7 years. I have a company that I really, really like. I'm trying to work out a deal with them, and I thought I had it worked out before COVID, but COVID hit, and then things kind of got a little in flux. I'm still hoping to get that done sooner than later. And one thing I can say is if you had points on the old app, we'll make sure to honor them. Again, I'm not trying to cause you frustration. If you knew how much money I'd spent on this and how frustrating it is for me, you would understand that this is not an easy thing. So anyway, onwards.
We already covered that. Do you want to start here with Tanner?
Yeah, Tanner has his favorite question that he likes to ask everyone that we interview. And it's what is your favorite cut of meat and how do you like it cooked? He also says that depending on how you like it cooked, it should affect your credit score. So
he's probably going to be disappointed with me. I would say I would say my favorite cut is probably, well, if I'm going to a steakhouse, I would generally get a bone-in fillet. That would be my favorite thing that I get. But I also really like marinated skirt steak, which is, I know a lot of people don't think that's a good cut of meat, but I really like the marinade. I'm kind of a sauce guy, so I like that. And if I got the bone-in fillet, I would probably get it medium, which I'm sure he wouldn't be pleased with.
I think he said anything over medium should affect your credit score. So you're
right on the line.
Yeah, don't go medium well, and you'll be good.
But I know he goes hunting all the time, so if he ever cooked me something, I'd probably just eat whatever he cooked.
Yeah,
I would not eat whatever.
There's a 90% chance right now it would be raccoon or
You
squirrel.
don't know.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll
It
pass.
is.
Yeah.
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 Well, especially us, because he would probably pay back for things. So, yeah.
You would. You want to go?
You can go. No, he just
So Anthony wants to know if you were an M&M, what color would you be?
Well, I don't know the whole deal with the colors of M&Ms or what they stand for, but my favorite color is blue, so I'll pick blue.
Perfect.
There's blue M&Ms, right?
Do they actually have meanings?
They have blue,
I
right?
don't know.
I thought there's a whole. I think there's a whole thing about what the colors mean. I,
Oh,
I thought I read that somewhere, but I don't remember what they were. So
I'll find out and
Let's see what blue is.
yeah, I was like, I'll make everyone think of like one person.
Yeah.
My question, well, one of my questions was, where's your favorite place that you've traveled? Because I know you've done a ton of traveling.
yeah, I have. Wow, it's tough to pick one. I played junior in Montreal, and I always say that that's my favorite city. I really just I love that city, but I really do like Colorado a lot. If we're in the States, I would say internationally, um, hmm, probably the coolest place I went was see Tiananmen Square in Russia. I think that was pretty neat to see that. I wouldn't want to go back, but I thought it was really neat, and I really enjoyed the times I got to travel to Australia. I thought I really disappointed I never got to New Zealand when traveling was allowed. And I don't think I ever will. I don't know, but I've been to Australia several times, and I really thought that was a very, very cool place. So I guess I'd put Australia and perhaps Singapore. I really liked Singapore. Singapore is kind of neat because you can play golf at night there, which is pretty neat. So I kind of like that. They have a lot of lighted golf courses because it's so hot during the day that people just don't even want to play golf. So they actually put floodlights on all the golf courses. It's pretty neat. So
Interesting. I had
yeah.
no idea. Jordan wants to know what are some of your hobbies?
I probably only really have one, golf. I play a lot of golf. I like to watch sports on TV. That's a big hobby of mine. I watch an exorbitant amount of football, and I watch a lot of hockey. Not just junior hockey. I watch NHL hockey. I watch pretty much hockey if it's on. So
Right. Is it time for the game? So we start with silliness and we end with silliness.
yeah.
So we have a game. We're gonna play would you rather because it's just easier over Zoom, obviously, than our little cards and our things. So we'll should we just go every other? We'll
Yeah.
go through would you rather.
Okay.
So we're gonna see. Would you rather have a time machine that only goes back in time or a time machine that only goes forward in time?
Meaning once you go, you have to stay.
Yep.
I think I'd rather go back. Do I need to say why?
If you want.
I think it'd just be cool knowing what you know now to go back because you never get that chance in life. Like there's so many things you do differently. I think about that movie Back to the Future, like how funny that was. And I guess that would be kind of cool. I think going forward, I've seen movies as well where they propel you forward and the people are just confused what's going on. That'd be cool too, but I'd go back.
Would you rather be super strong or super fast?
Super fast.
Would you rather lose all of your teeth or all of your hair?
I'd probably rather lose my teeth.
Really? But you can buy dentures.
Yeah.
So you can buy teeth. I mean, I
It's also
guess you could buy
a
hair,
hockey thing.
but
It's a
then it
hockey
would look like
Hockey thing.
It's a hockey thing.
yeah,
Having no teeth is pretty cool.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Would you rather have your flight delayed for 8 hours or lose all of your luggage?
I've had so many flights delayed for 8 hours. I'll just take that one because I've been through that so many times that it wouldn't faze me that much.
Now, this is my favorite one. Would you rather be in an NHL line brawl or be punched in the face by Mike Tyson?
Oh, for sure, an NHL line brawl. I would not want to
So
be.
everybody picks that. Nobody wants to be punched in the face by Mike Tyson.
We skip this one since I didn't see your first one.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
just did the last one.
Okay. Would you rather be on an airplane next to two arguing passengers or a screaming infant?
Oh, that's a tough choice. I've done both. fly a lot, so I've done both. I guess I would take the infant. I'd take the infant because I can just put my headphones in and eventually that noise gets drowned out. And I don't feel as angry at the infant because the infant's just upset and they don't have any
Yeah.
other way of expressing their feelings. Whereas the arguing adults are just being idiots. They could easily.
They're adults. They can't. Yeah, they can't stop. Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, that is it. So thank you for that.
So I want to
today,
make
Amy.
sure, I want to make sure if everybody saw that Jake Boltman thing. Like that's one thing we really need to talk about.
How could everyone have not seen it?
Yeah,
We
I
got
feel
like
that
a
was the
million
greatest.
impressions on
Yeah.
our
I feel like that was the
just on
greatest
us.
thing that's happened. Like we've been
Yeah.
trying to really embrace social media and understand that what's important is connection with the community and the players and embracing what they go through and everything. And I just feel like that moment just encapsulated hockey. Like you wonder why I want to be involved in junior hockey. When Jake gets drafted and looks at the screen and everyone jumps on top of him, like I could watch that 1,000 times. That is junior hockey in a nutshell. And if anyone doesn't like junior hockey, they should watch that video and then tell me why they don't like junior hockey. Like,
And you know, we need to give some credit to our media staff.
Oh,
Cristiano
absolutely.
and Chris Mock. Like
Brilliant.
Cristiano knew that it was a potential. It was like, so they knew it could happen and they didn't know when. Like all day long, we're like watching it because it could have been anywhere from like the 3rd to the 7th round. So we had no idea. They're on the ice for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So they were like ready. They had graphics and like Ron was sprinting down the hallway, and it was just pretty cool how we knew they were prepared and ready to go. Like I was busy having meetings and all of it was already done and went down. It was on social media and I didn't even like know it happened.
They
Like,
did
it was,
such
they
a great
just
job. Like
took care of
be
it.
that ready and to be prepared is I mean, to capture that moment live was so great. And then the follow-up video with his parents coming
Yes.
was equally fantastic. Again, like having been one of those players and now been dealing with those players as an owner, that moment was just so great and just exactly what we're trying to accomplish with our social media in the sense that, yeah, we can give you a bunch of information about hockey and about our who scored what goal and here's a replay and here's who's selling whatever for half price and all of that stuff. But it's the connection point and the understanding why these guys are here, how much it means to them and what they're giving to the community and what they're getting in return. And just I just felt like that was such a great thing that we should, never stop talking about and just enjoying that moment because you don't get them very often. Like it'd be really hard to recreate that because it would feel staged,
Yeah, you can't stage that. That's even that says a lot to just the team in general.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they haven't been here very long, but you can see like how great they are together as a team. How happy they were for him.
That's going to take them where they need to go, and that includes the players who were up for getting drafted that didn't get drafted. They were in that same huddle. So again, it's the me is less than the we, and when the we is greater than the me, just like we say in the business side, great things can happen. So it was awesome to see that. So
I still cry every single time I watch it. I was at home in quarantine when I saw it, and my hormones are insane right now. So I was just like hysterically crying, and my husband came out and he was like, "What is wrong?" I was like, "Bowman just got drafted," and I'm sobbing.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I had so many people say, "Oh, congratulations, that's so great." People that don't know about the USHL saw it and were calling me and saying how great it was, and I was like, "You don't understand. Yeah, it's great that Jake got drafted. We had 6 players drafted in 2018. We never captured a moment like this. Like it's the moment that's great. Like they all want to get drafted. Like we had 51 players in the USHL get drafted this year. Getting drafted in and of itself is certainly a big deal, but it wasn't the thing. The thing was how the team handled it. And I just feel like that was such a great time and such a great thing to celebrate. And I hope that I'm certain that somehow that'll find its way into our home opener video. But
I would imagine it would.
Yeah.
But
So.
Yeah, and it was a little struggle because I had his parents when they came. We had a whole plan because we had to surprise him. So I hid them in my office, and then when they were like, "Okay," I got the text like, "It's go time!" Like, bring him up. It was like getting a little emotional.
I was crying then. I was in the office.
kind of teary-eyed, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And so it was. Yeah,
Super special.
it was.
Yeah.
It was
Great job to our staff for handling that. You and Cristiano and everybody who was involved in that, Chris Mock, and it just an exciting time for our organization. And again, like through all the challenges and all the past 7 months, all the negative stuff, like to have a moment like that was just, it makes you realize it's all worthwhile. Like it's just great. So, well, thanks for having me on.
Yes, well, thank you. All right.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Well, thank you everyone so much for watching today. We had so much fun talking with Ryan. Anytime we sit down and talk to Ryan, the conversation is always so informative, and it just kind of reminds me like why we're here and why we do what we do and why we love to show up to work every day. And so I love chatting with him. I love picking his brain about stuff and just seeing how he feels. Also love being super weird with him because
we
it's
talk about
funny.
a lot of like
Yeah.
kind of serious subject, a lot
Yeah.
of informational material.
Yeah.
So a lot of
He
good
makes
things.
the things that I think are going to be really scary way more manageable in my brain. And I really appreciate that because my brain goes 700 miles an hour all the time. But yeah, we had a super awesome time with him. We cannot wait for this season. We're so excited that it's so close. We have just a few days until the Corn Cup. And we're super happy that COVID isn't taking hockey away.
Yes.
It's taken away a lot, took away my vacations.
And we're gonna play Omaha on
Yeah.
our first game, so
Mhm.
that's good.
Yeah, gonna start
be
off
fun.
strong.
Yeah.
Don't forget to grab your tickets for this Corn Cup this weekend and next weekend, and also for the home opener, 90s night. If you don't have your 90s gear, go to a thrift store,
Yeah, time. So that's
buy
it.
yourself some overalls. I don't know. Listen to some Nirvana.
Everybody should roll their pants.
Yeah. What's that called again?
Like the tight roll?
The tight roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're
You,
gonna have to show me how to
you're
do that.
probably not
I
old
was-
enough to know that.
I never had to tight roll my pants because I was just in leggings all the time.
I'll show you.
Okay.
I got it.
Thanks.
Got you.
Should we make an informational social
we,
media
we
video?
should. We should show everybody how to do it.
Yeah, we also have a ton of other promo nights that we haven't really
Yeah.
gotten to talk about.
We'll do that. Maybe we'll have Anthony on
Yeah.
again because
Again.
we had technical difficulties. But now that we actually, since the schedule got changed 1,000 times,
Yeah.
we can get him back on now that the schedule's actually out. Maybe
Yeah.
review some things.
Mhm.
So we'll before home opener, hopefully we'll get another podcast in, talk about all the promo nights we have coming up. And
Yeah.
so
So we've got
look for those.
a lot of stuff going on.
We have a lot of things
Super
going on, so
excited.
we need a minute
Yeah.
to get going, and
Yeah.
especially since we got all this new stuff in town. So new things.
So many things are happening. It's like the Icebox is a brand new place.
Yes. So come hungry on Sunday
Yes.
and
hungry, come
try some new
thirsty.
things.
Come
Yes.
ready to cheer loud because we know there are probably going to be some Omaha fans here. And we want to remind them what it's like to be in the Icebox.
Even at 50% capacity,
Yeah.
let's just cheer twice as loud so it still sounds normal.
Yeah.
That's
Ideal.
That's a good.
You even have some extra chairs that you can
Yeah.
bang around.
Yeah, because you got your
Yeah.
social distancing chairs
Mhm.
around you. So, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's it, and we'll hopefully be back
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
soon.
It's hockey season.